If you don't mind,
Whoa, whoa.
let me tell you.
Hey there, sexy lady of my dreams. Can I have you here with me? I just wanna love you down. Yeah. I'm making you scream my name. Oh, I'm gone. Loving your body. I'll be kissing your body. And I'll be caressing your body. Oh, baby, just come on. Loving your body. I'll be loving, feeling your body. And I'm gonna touching your body all night, baby. Now I'm about to fulfill your fantasy. So come a little closer, bring your body to me. I'm trying to take my time, I won't rush at all, 'cause you deserve the best. I'm gonna love, I'm gonna kissing your body until the morning comes. Caressing your body, oh baby, just come on, loving your body. And let me feel, feeling your body. And I just wanna touching your body. If you don't mind, baby, let me loving your body. I just wanna kissing your body. Don't stop me, baby, kissing your body. Oh baby, baby, come on, your body. And let me feeling your body. Please, baby, touching your body. Baby, 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 baby. La 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 la. Oh, baby, please, please. Oh, please, baby. We're gonna get it on tonight. Let's get it on. Get it on. I wanna kissing your body all night, baby. Kissing your body, oh baby, don't stop, no. Loving your body, just let me love. Feeling your body, I just wanna touch your body, you all night long. Come on, loving your body, wanna do it again. Kissing your body, I wanna do it again. Kissing your body, I just can't get enough of you, baby. Feeling your body, touching your body. I just wanna feel you tonight, baby. Makes me love. If you don't mind, if you don't sip a little wine, spend a little time. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. Make sweet love. You better be careful, baby, be careful. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your hair when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language. You ain't said a word, but I know what you feel. 'Cause I can hear your body language. say, come on, the song is sung. The message is clear. Let me pause, babe. You look so good. To gather my thoughts, make sure I'm hearing you right. Baby, slow my baby. If I am mistaken, 'cause love will be naked. I can see it in your eyes. I'm watching every move you make. Yeah, don't go too fast and don't be late. Oh no, all the time you need to take. That's what it's saying. That's what you're saying, baby. You know me when you're ready to go. I'll be ready. Once for yes and twice for no.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Kris the Critic show. We've been on a little break. We've missed you. If you're here, maybe you missed us a little bit. Along today with me is the beautiful, the intelligent, the well-spoken, the introspective, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Gina B.
Why you gotta call me a heavyweight though? What's up with that?
I meant like
I'm
yeah,
fucking.
it did come out wrong.
It's all good. It's all good.
It did come out wrong.
Hi everybody. Thank you for being here.
So, how was your Dad's Day? I know you're really close to your dad.
Yes.
We've been gone. What have you done? Where have you been? Tell us something good.
Well, you were the one jet setting last week. So
Yeah, a little bit.
you were jet setting. So for Father's Day, I kind of take care of my father.
That's good.
He's a good guy. So he didn't really want to do anything this year. He was just like, look, I'm just grateful for your presence. And so I didn't do anything abnormal. I made sure he had his paper, made sure he had his breakfast, made sure he had a good dinner. And
for those who don't know, Gina B has her dad's place right across from her.
I put him
She
there.
always gets his newspaper. She's always run. I have 3 daughters out here. One day they'll look at this, or maybe hopefully they won't. But hopefully they'll do something like that.
Yeah, I mean they should. I mean, if you're raised to be close to your father, then absolutely take care of him.
Father's Day usually gets sort of crapped on, but
It does.
My kids got this was Father's Day. I'm accessorizing. This is Dad's Day. I love it. But anyway, it was a good
It
time.
looks nice. They have good taste.
They do. They take after their dad. Well, look, we're gonna get right into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
Summertime is upon us. This is officially the summer season.
Yay.
Hopefully you all are, you don't have somebody in your life, you're working on it. Got some logs in the fire.
Something.
Something cooking.
Brewing.
Now, it's also, just like when you go to a fair, carnival, it's a great thing, but you also got pickpockets. Summer season brings along the title of this show, The Side Piece.
Yeah.
Now, I know what folks are thinking. Kris, you about to give people advice on having a side piece. Now, first off, side pieces are people too, right? The purpose of this show is
Sure,
to
they're
hopefully,
people.
I'm a servant to the people, is to preserve some relationships. All right, so we're going to talk about
That's
the side
our
piece.
goal. Yes.
I did bring a list today.
Kris got a list.
Chris got a list. We're going to talk about 6 things never to do if you don't want side piece mucking up your life. Now,
Well, this assumes that you have one. Okay. My advice is to not have a side piece.
Absolutely, that's the best advice.
Okay. But if you must, Kris
Right.
got a list.
Now, let's get some rules straight. For the purposes of this show, and I think we can all agree, a side piece is a person who has a sexual relationship with somebody else's spouse, boo, bae, whatever you want to call it.
For those who are into 90s hip hop, side pieces are down with OPP.
Definitely. Now,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the conscious side piece, the intentional side piece. You can be a side piece, and I know it happened to me before. I'm a young single guy.
Mm-hmm.
Girl calls me over, makes me some spaghetti. Producer Herb in the building, makes me some spaghetti. As I'm eating it, I notice she takes a phone call. She says, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna have to hurry up and eat that, because my friend is over. He wouldn't like this. And I mean, I
like
seen him.
who?
I'm like, I'm the side piece.
You're like, I can't have seconds?
I'm the side piece. So you can be a side piece and not know it. So it's also the purpose of the show. If you hear some characteristics sound like you side piece.
But then
So-
I have some tips for knowing that you
Now
might
look,
be a side piece and not know it. But go
This
ahead.
was urgent. I did this show 2018. Side pieces were up. Write this down. 17.2% from 2017. Now, this previous year, and it was a pandemic. Side pieces are still up 19%.
Which is interesting because
I blame it on the Instagram. The Instagram game is those chicks are winning. I don't know if they're out there taking classes. They ruining relationships. I'm not knocking their hustle, but I'm a relationship show guy. That's what I do. So it's a lot of sneaking and freaking going on. Divorce is up.
A lot.
Side pieces, ultimately, everybody's going to get caught. They lead to arrest, divorces.
If anyone's watched Dateline,
murders.
all kinds of things can happen.
I'm
as a
trying to
result.
prevent some catastrophic events. So
We're here to help.
we're going to talk about some rules for the side piece.
Let's do it.
All right, now I got a top 10, but in the interest of time, we'll talk about 6.
Let's go with 6.
And Gina B, I don't know if you heard these. I want your opinion on these.
That's fine.
And I know you brought some
And
ammo
I have
too.
my list of my own.
There's a lot of ways you can go with this side piece thing. Number 6. I know this sounds crazy, but it's a discipline. So I hear. All right. Do not use your real name.
Okay.
Don't use your real name.
So what's your suggestion?
Travel outside your circle. Use something like,
Dexter St. Jacques?
how you doing? My name's Idris Washington. Or Denzel Elba. Make them feel like they got with somebody special.
Herb, are you listening to this?
You do. I'm telling you, you want the
Okay.
side piece to be enamored with you because ultimately they're there for your
So how do you propose this goes down?
gratification.
You meet someone,
Uh-huh.
and you say, my name is Idris Kojo.
First off, I'm not condoning.
But
Any of
I'm
these
just trying to figure
shenanigans.
out how you avoid using your
I'm
name.
merely saying for those people who do what to do and what not to do.
I'm just asking. So for people, so you meet them and then you say something ridiculous like my name is, whatever.
Chances
Dexter
are,
St.
though,
Jacques.
chances are, if you find someone, male or female, 'cause side pieces of both sexes, who'd engage in these shenanigans, they're not always the smartest people. I mean, you got some out there.
Some of them are diabolical.
Absolutely, that has nothing to do with brilliant.
They got tricks.
We're gonna get to that. They are crazy.
Okay, so let's just so it's irrespective of my reaction to that. Okay, use an
That was a
alias.
good
This is
question.
Chris's
That was a
Chris's
question.
thing. Okay, cool.
First off, you mentioned it, and the reason I say don't use your real name, it was a perfect segue. 75% of all side pieces are mentally unstable. They crazy. It is. It's a fact. I don't make this up.
I don't doubt that because that speaks to
I
the
don't make it
reason
up.
why being a side piece is okay with you. So we can keep it moving.
Being a side piece is not okay with
It's
me.
not okay. But it's not
I'm
okay.
trying to help the people who
But
are
if they're-
in there already or they going there.
But if they're mentally unstable,
The side
that
piece, not-
speaks to the side piece. That speaks
Oh.
to the reason why being a side piece is okay. Because of their mental instability, which we can get into later.
I don't
That's
know.
the second half of the showtime.
Oh, exactly. I don't know. I'm not gonna say. I don't know. Back and forth on that. I've never pretended to take the role of side piece. Now, you have to. You got to treat it like a terrorist situation, right?
You're hostage.
Because ultimately, and you'll hear me repeat this time and time again, the name of the game for side pieces now is extortion. It's a whole group of folk, men, mostly men, because admittedly we're the more simpler creatures. They being extorted. But I tell people, if God forbid one of y'all getting into this, you treat this like a terrorist situation. You do not negotiate. You do not negotiate with the side piece.
Yeah.
Tell it then. I don't care. I tell myself.
Well,
all their
did
power's
you see
gone.
the movie Fatal Attraction? That old movie?
Should have just told, baby.
Don't get your bunny boiled.
I was just that. Oh, I was gonna get right back. Deal with that, because you do not want to go down the side piece rabbit hole, which is the road basically to hell. So number one,
It is the road
I
to
mean,
hell.
number six.
Don't
I mean,
do
number
it.
six was. Again, this is a whole burgeoning new career
still
over
on
the past
6?
10 years.
Okay.
I get it. Just don't negotiate with the side piece. The next one, you think this would be obvious? Not saying I know some people who, I know some people who did this. You don't shit where you eat. The side piece should never know where you live. You shouldn't get down with them in your work parking lot. Don't tell your friends about the side piece. They pillow talk. Don't pillow talk with the side piece. Because what are they doing? They're building up ammo for what, Gina B?
For
Extortion.
destruction and extortion. So, all right. I have so much to say.
You do? You got a question on that?
Based on that. Yeah, it's the thing is, I think you're underestimating the diabolical nature of the side piece.
Oh no, it gets
once
horrible.
Again.
I think.
They
Why
will
do you think I'm
find
going
you.
to? Why do you think I'm going through such extremes?
They will find you. And they will find your wife if they have a problem.
If you don't follow these rules, they're actually 10. I'm giving y'all 6, but I'm covering that.
You're covering. Okay. Once again, let me just back up for people who might be curious about this and just tuned in.
All right.
The overarching belief here between the two of us is that you should not have one.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We're not
so
condoning this
We're
whole.
not condoning side pieces. We're not
Exactly.
condoning cheating, side pieces, none of that. So we're just examining, and then we'll go from there.
Right.
Go ahead.
Marcus Simpson, we're going to get there. He's
yes,
a smart
Marcus.
cookie.
I see your comment,
I
and
got it. I got it.
Yeah, we're on top of that.
Marcus Simpson said they shouldn't even know your last name. Hence, number 6, don't use your name.
Don't use
Someone gets your full name. People do this in regular, normal hookups. I was sitting at a group last week, sitting at a group of table. I see some ex-coworker. She's with a group of girls. They're like, Kris, we've seen video, Kris Critic, blah, blah, blah. I got a question, right? And one girl asked me, well, I met a guy, but I don't know about him because he doesn't have a social media profile. I was like, I mean, he could be a player. I said, but honestly,
Yeah.
truthfully, you want that so you can go check them all out. She was like, exactly.
And you should check him out. Feel no shame.
First off, that
I'm
is
sorry.
not anyone's right to be able to go and look through whatever.
Why?
It's just not. I mean,
It
when you
is
met
your
somebody
right.
20 years ago, I mean, you get a referral from somebody you know, you
Look.
just got to live through it.
I say check him out. Listen, I am
I think
stalker,
I'll-
whatever. You know what? Let's just little segue. So years ago, I met a guy, and I started to check him out. And
You?
Yeah.
Before the Instagram career?
Before-
Whole nother show.
Before the one picture I posted.
Gina B was an
The
Instagram
one,
model.
The one
Who knew?
thirst trap I posted on Instagram. No, but realistically, I started to check him out and started to just sort of vet him among friends. And he was just like, he kind of had an attitude with me. And he was like, so you check me out? Yeah, because I don't know you. And I need somebody to vouch for you before I get in a car with you.
Oh, you said that to him.
Yeah.
I thought he said it to you. But go
No,
ahead.
no, no. He was like shitty with me for trying to vet him out. And I'm like, okay, we can stop right now. Because
What did you need to know? What did you need to know?
I just asked a couple of friends if they knew him.
And they didn't know him in that
They
call.
knew him.
Okay.
But that's how it got back to him that I was checking him out, you see?
Well,
I don't care.
there's nothing wrong with it.
I feel like you
I'm
should
not saying
shamelessly
it's-
check people out.
I'm okay with
I don't
that.
see anything wrong with that because
I'm just
we're
saying-
in the age of just
As I think
deception.
it's
abduction.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the person who says, maybe I don't want a social
And he
media
had no
footprint.
social media presence.
You wasn't
Girl.
born being on Instagram and Twitter.
That's okay. You can't find his ass
You don't
on
have
LinkedIn.
to be on all of this stuff.
Okay, whatever. What's next on your list, Kris?
All right.
Look.
She didn't like that.
No.
Yeah, no pillow talking. Oh, by the way, don't stay all night. You might accidentally pillow talk. You do the do. I don't care if it's 3:30 in the morning. Get up. You do not want to leave any signs that you really care that much. Matter of fact, number 4, choose a name, something slightly unflattering, like side piece. Refer to them as side piece. Man, you know you the cutest little side piece there is. You crazy as fuck, though. See, it's how you say it. That was very insulting, right?
You are so silly.
But I said it in a real calming way. What it does, I know it sounds crazy. People, I can't get away with that. Try it. You say it with a smile on your face like you compliment them. Because, listen, what it does, you don't want them to feel important. Because eventually, they're going to want more of you than you can give. And they're not going to be happy because you're going to say, whoa.
Okay, so
Man or woman, we entered this like this. Now you want more.
a lot of women get into these relationships with these guys.
I'm not saying it's just women, but it does happen primarily more in women, right?
It does, because it's a whole different psyche with men. But
Wait
a lot
a minute,
of women,
to the feminati. It happens both ways.
it does happen both ways. It does. But so from your perspective, for male to female perspective,
Right.
a lot of women get involved with these guys because they think that something else is going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Or that they have the ability to alienate that guy from their primary relationship. This is why I'm saying that side pieces can be diabolical, because they can get into these relationships with the knowledge that they have someone. But I had a woman tell me once, years ago, she's like, well, sometimes you just have to steal a man.
Really?
Like, she says this, and
Really?
this was a very professional.
She's okay with that.
I was like, wait, what? She's like, sometimes you just have to steal a man.
Debunked my whole theory that they're not that smart. It's a calculating group out here.
Look,
Hence the percentages.
this
At
is what I'm
people?
trying to say.
19% over last year.
Smarter than you think. And the biggest problem that men have, underestimating the side piece. That's how y'all get caught out there.
What?
I didn't think
I'm not even trying to say-
she'd show up.
Listen,
You didn't
fellas.
think. That's your problem. You shouldn't have one.
Absolutely.
saying.
That's the overarching theme of this show. But it happens, right? And don't just blame it on the men.
It
For
can be
every
prevented.
man, right, who is doing something he shouldn't be doing, we all say, shame on him. He knew what he was doing. There's a co-conspirator. Usually a woman. Everybody ain't gay.
Yeah, but
So
she does
they
not have
are-
the primary relationship with you, and the
But
man does.
I get that, but she still ain't shit just like he
Of
ain't
course
shit.
she ain't shit. We
So-
know that.
But let's start saying
okay,
that.
she ain't shit either.
She has a lot of the same amount of
See,
ain't shit
but the
dudes out
man
here.
is
It's a lot of
the
ain't
one
shit
who
women.
is in the relationship.
A lot of
It's
ain't
the
shit and a lot
onus
of
is
shit
on
out here.
him to protect his primary relationship and to do right by it.
Okay.
She don't care. She
But
don't care.
that's fucked up.
Okay. I'm not saying it's not.
What happened to sisterhood? What happened to the feminati?
I don't know.
Feminati
It's
should
out
get
the
on that.
door when it comes to
Feminati should get on that. Hey,
when a woman wants to be a side piece. A woman wants to be a side piece.
mean,
she
side
won't be
pieces
a
go both
side
ways.
Piece. It
Side
does
pieces
go both ways. Yeah.
I know. I don't even gonna say. We'll get back to that later. I was just gonna say, you're right. This side piece thing is very intentional, and the messed up part of the game is you got more women, like you said, to your point, being side pieces. I even know people who say, you know what? If I mess around, I'm gonna mess around with a married chick, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
So,
because she's too
I get
preoccupied
what
in
you're
her primary
thinking.
life.
I get what they're thinking. Oh, she has something to lose too. Let somebody's husband find out that you messing around. Now you got two problems. Now you got a crazy ass side piece, and you got a dude who just might kill your ass when you taking the trash out.
Well,
dummy.
I think that a lot of guys, well, the people who like to mess around with married women,
That's crazy.
it is crazy, but they're thinking from a time perspective, I think. Like, if she's married, she doesn't have the time to chase behind me
I
to try
got
to get
it.
on
But
my
a
schedule.
scorned
to try
man
to-
or woman, I just think that's a dangerous
of
situation.
course it's dangerous, but I mean, this is their
You
thought.
mentioned fatal attraction. You saw she got out.
She boiled a bunny.
She boiled a whole fucking rabbit.
A whole rabbit.
That's a crazy bitch.
That's a sign of a
there's a
complete,
lot of that out here.
pure psychopath. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I know a dude found out his wife was messing around, tried to blow a guy's car up, burned his fucking eyebrows.
How do you do it? Did he stuff like
Real story.
cloth and the?
All right, so
Anyway.
again,
I have no idea. How
you
he
don't
did
want to
that
make
stuff.
that side piece feel special.
No.
So as crazy as it sounds, don't call him baby and boo and say I love you. You say I love you. I'll come through here and choke you. Do not, never do that.
That's how a lot of guys keep side pieces around.
Oh, you got to just step your game up.
That's how they do it.
Number 3, right? I can't believe talking about this. Become a life coach for your side piece. Here's why.
I can't wait.
Ultimately, the relationship's going to blow up. If you've helped them, their real life out in some way, shape, or fashion, maybe when they blow your shit up, they'll have some slither of mercy on the dumbass who decided to get involved with it anyway. I know that's next level game right there. That's next level.
I'm not sure if it's the best
What's the negative on that?
procedure.
Disprove that.
You get too involved. You
No,
start
just give
becoming
them
a life
advice. Hey,
coach.
here, let
It's
me show you
like-
how to get this job. Let me see. Yeah, your resume looks fucked up. You got
So now you're getting too involved with the side piece. Why are you looking at a
Should I
resume?
know your name? Should I know where you live? Listen, let me spice up that Dunkin' Donuts resume. Right?
You were so wrong.
You got to show some
You're so
value.
wrong.
At least they'll say, well, he did help me get a motherfucking job. That's the only reason I ain't gonna really fuck his shit all up.
That's where you think they're going with that?
Gang, it's gonna blow up. They're gonna eventually try to blow your shit up. They're gonna try to fuck your relationship up, get you fired, or get you extorted. Whatever the case.
Okay.
Number 2 should be number 1.
Okay.
Where did I hear that before? Biggie song? Number 2? I can't remember. Anyway.
We'll figure it out.
Sounds cliche. Use a condom. Here's why.
Here's why.
No. It's not as simple as you think.
Okay.
First off, it's a lot of raw dogging going out here. Why do I say that?
This is a lot of pregnancy.
Side pieces.
Yeah.
Always get pregnant. Matter of fact, write this down. Side pieces get pregnant 30% more than any other regular woman. Don't know why. Don't know if they're taking fertility drugs. I'm not making it up. Side pieces will come up pregnant on your ass.
Maybe
They
they're
like
having
being
more
mixed up in a
sex.
bunch of fucking drama.
Does it have anything to do with how much sex they're having?
I don't know. That's why I say it's a lot of raw dogs.
Because
going on. I
if the
can't
side
explain. I'm
piece
not
is
a
having
side
that
piece.
much
I'm not-
sex, then maybe the wife is having, or the girlfriend or whoever is having less. And they're not getting pregnant. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the statistics. But yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
fine.
a reason.
But using
it's a reason that
condom-
one would enter into this. That's a whole
using
counseling
a
session.
condom should be like,
You say that next time you're around 5 or more of your friends. Say, girl, truthfully, do y'all always use a condom with the multiple motherfuckers y'all sleeping with? Because they all sleeping with more than one dude.
Multiple.
They single, they sleep with. Hey, sign of the times. Feminati has the blame for that. If men can do it, I always wondered, why do women want to say that? Because I'm like, men are they sleep with 50 people. You think it's cool to do that shit just because they do it? But ask them,
it all comes down to equality.
ask them, hey, y'all sleep with any of these dudes with no condom?
You think the answer is
Hell yeah, 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And the one who didn't say it is lying.
Well,
Herb, you know any friends who mess around or are they always using condoms all the time, Herb?
Nah, I think for the most part, people out here.
Huh?
I think for the most part, people out here rolling the dice.
okay. So if you are going to have a side piece,
I don't condone this, by the way.
I
This
do
whole
not
show
condone.
is why it's dumb
Okay.
to have a side piece. But if you do, trying to help your shit out. Go ahead.
okay, you should want to protect the person that you are in your relationship with from any kind of shit that the side piece.
That sounds so
might
much like
have.
right. But if a person is willing to engage with a side piece, are they really thinking, I'm going to protect them even though I'm fucking these chicks or
This
dudes?
is the reason why I am saying it, because obviously it is not it's not top of mind. That's my point.
I'm telling you,
So that's the most important
They
thing
just
I'm
come
going
up
to
pregnant
say
30%
during this
more.
hour. Yeah,
Just come up pregnant 30% more.
yeah.
We're going to take one more.
Okay.
We're going to take a break, then we're going to hear what you say now. So number 1, it sounds crazy. And this might actually help people not even get a side piece. Do not, under any circumstances, it's like being at a zoo. What do they tell you? Don't give animals what? Any food. Don't feed them. Don't give the side piece any money. Now, you can spend money on meals because people say, Kris, you got to spend. I agree. You got to spend some money. Spend money on meals,
Spend money on condoms.
drinks, condoms, alcohol. I don't know.
Edibles.
Help pay a bill.
No.
But listen to me.
Do not
Nothing
help pay a
said-
bill.
I don't condone any of that. But anyway,
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
nothing says I care more than a wad of cash.
And paying bills.
You give somebody a wad of cash, the number one cause of divorce in this country is not infidelity. It is what?
Finances.
Let your girl or guy find out.
Lord.
Hey, you fucked around on them.
Pay
Man,
some
get
host
over
bill
that.
and see what happens.
But you spending the kids' tuition money?
Or any money that could be spent on me.
Somebody going to jail.
Yeah. Any money spent on a side piece
Somebody
is money that
going
can't
to
be spent
jail.
on me.
Ooh.
Dateline is full
Babe,
of these stories.
I did
I'm
not
just
think,
letting you know.
I didn't just vision that. It's one thing to say, oh man, well, if my girl cheat on me, I'll be sad. I get over it. But if you you find a ledger that the money been going, fuck it, I'm catching a case. Fuck it.
So Marcus Simpson
Catching a
is curious.
motherfucking case.
This is the Marcus Simpson question. So a side piece and a sugar baby ain't the same. They could be
Now,
the same.
no, sugar baby and a sugar daddy, they have an arrangement.
The arrangement isn't monetary.
They didn't
but
sign a
could
contract, but it's real close to that.
be. Right.
And a lot of them, because they got websites
And
now.
everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Everybody
what's
knows.
up. Everybody knows. Because
I would even argue.
his old ass knows.
Plus, a sugar daddy don't.
I
have
would
to
even
be in a
argue.
committed relationship.
Well, we don't. Well,
They-
they're not supposed to be.
They can. They're two different things, but they can be. They can be the same, but they're not.
They can
They're
be.
not always.
They
It's
can
like
be, but yes, not always.
all
There could
cognacs
be
are
a
brandies, but
subset.
all brandies ain't cognac. It's one of those things.
Right, like that.
Got that. Right.
Exactly.
We're
we
gonna
take a break?
take a 2-minute break.
2 minutes.
I want to read some comments. We're gonna answer a few comments, and then Gina B is gonna drive us through the second half of the side piece. But while we going for this 2 minutes, I want to know. I'm not asking y'all to self-incriminate, but has anyone been a side piece, knowingly or not knowingly?
And how did that turn out for you?
Yeah, exactly. I want to know if there's any horror stories, or if you had a friend.
Yeah, a friend.
Right. Well, and if in the rare instance where it's turned out well, I'd love to hear about it.
I would too.
It just
I don't know.
ain't jacked up yet. But we need 2 minutes. Don't go nowhere. Go get a drink. Check on your kids. Do whatever you do. We'll be right back. Kris the Critic and Gina B. Back in 2 ticks. Peace.
Anthropomorphize lessons so I could become the heartbeat of righteousness, the everyday fight to pump the blood of kings, breathe the breath of life, moving up like Confederates and Yankee territories in the 17th century. But it's a thin line between divinity and iniquity. Mason Dixon hitting and complacent decisions, division between symptoms of a phenom and a psychopath, gifted and asinine. I want to erase that vertical line on an incline that divides them.
WIIFTBP.
Sexy lady, can't wait to be with you tonight. I'm intoxicated by your energy. You drive me crazy. I'm feeling the vibe and it's alright. We're gonna dance and groove all night between the sheets. So come on, baby, yeah, yeah. Gonna make it alright. Gonna make it alright. Party all night, oh yeah. Party all night, oh yeah. Move your body tonight. Move your body tonight, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, your body's amazing. Baby, you're perfect in every way. Let me kiss you, touch you, set your spirit free. Can you feel me? Going deeper, baby. Hiding inside your world is where I wanna be. Yeah, we can touch the sky. Then I realize that you're the one for me. Ooh, I'm deep inside your love. Our love is from above. Only you and me between the sheets, baby. Move your body tonight. We're gonna make it alright. Oh yeah.
Welcome back, critics. Kris the Critic along with Gina B. The man making the magic happen in the back. Herb, our producer for this evening.
Hey, Herb.
We are talking about the side piece.
Yes, we are. And to be clear, there's some people that have opted out of this.
Because they felt
This episode.
they felt this was a demonic episode.
Absolutely. And we do not condone having a side piece. We condone healthy relationships here at Kris the Critic.
Right. It's like going to church. You're there for a good purpose, but they got to tell you the foul stuff that's out there for you to be able to deal with it.
And sometimes foul stuff goes on in the church. But I'm
truth
You like that
The truth
analogy,
does
Herb?
hurt.
I love it. The truth
I
hurts.
pulled it out my ass that quick. Geek! Gina B,
Yeah.
you wanted to delve into
I
one of
gotta
these
delve into
particular
so
topics.
yes, because at some point,
Right.
you know, there is always going to be somebody who wants to make you a side piece without your knowledge.
Oh, and unfortunately, and you said this earlier, women don't do that dumb shit. They'll let you know. Men, unfortunately, fellas.
Yeah, dudes will try, and you have to really,
Unfortunately, I want to disagree. I can't.
it's red flags, sussing out activity that might mean that you're a side piece. And you just kind of think about, like, you know, am I being treated properly? And so I had questions when I was dating.
Okay.
I had questions. One of my questions in the interim, like, well, actually in the beginning, I meet a guy, I would say, do you have a girlfriend? And he would, just say no, right?
He would just say no?
He would say, no, I don't have a girlfriend.
You got some good liars out here.
Good liars. But then you followed up real quick with, is there someone who thinks they're your girlfriend? And if you followed up really quick, sometimes you might catch them up. Like one guy, I asked, do you,
Let me give you a player answer.
what's that, sir? I had a player.
Back when I was a Jedi Knight level player.
Lord, Lordy,
What
Lord,
if,
Lord,
say that
Lord.
again to me and I'll tell you what I would have said.
Is there someone who thinks they're your girlfriend?
Really doesn't matter what they think, it's about what I think. And right now I think I'm right here with you.
Okay, so the fact that you made reference to they
If you want,
wouldn't mean that you're a no.
no. Because, and if you tried to tell me that,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I'm telling you, they might think that, but I don't think that. I'm not married. I'm
And
single.
then I would say, what are you doing to make them think that they're your girlfriends?
Lay it down, lay it down.
And how many are they?
One.
Oh, no. They
I would
indicates
lie on that.
multiple people. That's what they indicates. Otherwise, you would say, I don't know what she thinks.
And then I would say, if you meet a man, a grown man, who has nothing going on, or a woman who's absolutely nothing going on, ask yourself, is that something you really want?
Unless they have emptied the stables because you know, full hands can't receive.
I think you'd have failed for that.
No, I wouldn't fall because I didn't before. Full hands can't receive.
You
If
might
your
not
hands
have.
are full, you
might
can't
not
receive,
have. Hey,
right?
tell the truth, y'all. 62%.
Marcus
of women
Simpson, we're not dating non-binary people. In this. We are talking about. We have a specific lane that
She
we're
go
in.
with me.
We
I'll
have-
go with her.
We have to address James Turner real quick.
Okay,
James
what's
Turner,
James
first
say?
off, thank you for the comment. James Turner said, if you need to have a side chick or side guy, let's not just
Yeah, a side man.
in your life, then you need to leave your main chick or guy. Not necessarily. You may need to work on your relationship, but I wouldn't necessarily say you'd have to leave. Your relationship may have some holes in it due to you, the other person, or both of your interaction. But aside, just because you're in a relationship and you got a side piece, that side piece is not. I mean, if you smart, your side piece is just maybe a big button to smile. And I mean, they don't cook necessarily. You don't get with a side piece because of that.
What did Chris Rock say? New pussy.
Yeah.
New pussy's illiterate.
I'm not justifying it, but I wouldn't necessarily say you need to leave. You need to either fix or leave. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Address your own
Maybe you get
relationship.
forced to leave once your main chick figures it out.
And he might disagree.
It's a fair point. I mean, it's a fair point, right?
Right.
It could be an indication, or probably is an indication that something's wrong in your primary relationship. But my point is you need to ask some questions.
Or some people are just greedy and hoish. A lot of hoes out here, man and female.
There are. No,
lot of
I don't
thoughts.
disagree with you. There are a lot of thoughts. A
Lot
lot
of
of
thoughts.
thoughty behavior.
But
So
go ahead.
Okay. So I would say you definitely need to ask some questions, right?
To whom?
And the second, I got distracted by a comment that I'm going to address in a second by Marcus
gotta look at
Simpson.
this. Marcus
You gotta look
Simpson's
at it.
all
Marcus
over this.
Simpson's
He's-
all over this.
he
Yeah,
he
he's
did
funny.
some pre-gaming.
Yeah, we'll address that in a minute, Marcus. The other thing is there's behavior that you can figure out. Like I remember years ago, I met a guy. He called me and we were chatting and fine. And he said, I don't know why he must have called me. And this is years ago, right? So there was a home number. You know, we don't have those anymore. And so he said, you know, the number I called you from, it's not really cool for you to call me on this number.
Okay.
I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So that means that it's not cool for me to call you at all. Because if you've got a number that you're calling me from that I can't call.
See, he went into that all wrong. Hypothetically, if you want or you're interested, again, we don't condone having a side piece.
We don't.
But you go into a side piece situation, male or female, let them know up front. And then you get a yay or nay right there. Because unfortunately, the moral fiber of our society is taking a turn for the worse.
It's in the toilet.
You have men and women who are okay with being a side priest. Hey, I didn't want the commitment. I can have the pieces of him or her that I want.
There are, but there's some people that are certainly not signing up for side piece activity.
Oh, absolutely.
Who are being foisted into it, right?
Or choosing to ignore.
Or choosing to ignore, or yeah. I agree. And the thing is, Marcus, don't mess around with anyone who still has land. This was years ago, Marcus. This was not like
Hey,
recently.
wait, first off, wait a minute. Nothing to do with tonight's show. We have a landline phone.
You have a line?
What if-
line?
Hey, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the line.
Wow.
What if there is some sort of catastrophic emergency and our phone signals are down?
Do you have okay. I understand.
We can
having
use our landline.
Having a landline can be, but you know what? I think, I'm not sure if we have one. I think it's
argue against
only,
that every month.
it is
I lose
only,
the argument every month.
hey, Tashiana Levy.
Don't say her name.
She said, hey.
She did?
chimed in.
Hey, babe, hey.
So
Hey.
have a landline only because of the alarm system, but I wouldn't be making calls on it. Like it's just not, there's no phone attached. I don't even know if it rings.
That's funny.
And it's not rotary.
We don't even answer our phone, by the way.
Oh, no. Don't bother to answer that phone. It's all going to be garbage.
We're like, oh, those are bill collectors.
It's that, or it's the IRS. It's a quote-unquote IRS telling you that you owe them money when you don't.
They
or
getting
it's
real
somebody
slick, too. But anyway,
about
get
the
back to
car
the
warranty.
They're using your
or whatever
local
that bullshit
area
is.
code.
Yeah, they try. They
Real-
try to
they real
call you
clever.
with a number that's real close to yours. So you think
Real
it might be
clever.
a neighbor. It's like, okay. Oh, so that said, I told him that was an absolute no.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I can't. Then don't call me, period. Like, don't call me from numbers that I can't call you back on. And then don't, no. Whatever you're up to, I'm not down with it. So he didn't call me anymore. I didn't call him. It was good, right? But you have to nip that in the bud. If you see some weird phone behavior,
Right.
then nip it in the bud. Also, if you find yourself relegated to a specific day and time.
So I see what you're getting at. You're talking about how do you know?
How do you know if you're a
it's-
side piece?
If you're a side piece.
Right.
And because you've run into one of
And
these
it's
crafty type
deceptive.
people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens.
You've run into
That's
one
a
of
valid
these people.
point.
If you are relegated to, one of my friends, this is so funny. There was a guy that she only saw on Tuesdays.
Really?
I'm like, what you think he's doing Wednesday through Monday?
He's a consultant.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
He's in Berlin.
And so her friends would be like, what's up with Tuesday? Like his name became Tuesday among her friends.
Really?
And I was like, okay, you see that there's a problem with this, right? Like, so obviously
You can pull that for the first.
he is a good time manager and he has relegated you to specifically
How long
Tuesday.
of Tuesdays? I mean,
I don't know what the hours
was it like
were.
months?
Oh, it went on for a long time.
He's at home like, hey, babe, you know Tuesday's bowling night, right?
Probably. I don't know what he told. I mean, obviously
That
there was
is
somebody
hilarious.
else because she was relegated to Tuesday.
Now, nothing
Tuesday.
against your friend.
I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
She kind of slow.
Well,
She's listening. We won't.
she's probably not listening.
I would drop some.
But I wouldn't call her slow as much as I would call her like she doesn't really think about that. I don't think she cared as much.
And that's I think
As
it's
I
a
would
lot
care.
of people okay with that.
There are, but I just wanted to be clear. Like when she described the situation to me, I wanted to be clear with her that this is like something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Marcus Simpson brought up a point, and honestly, Marcus, I wasn't prepared for this.
What's that?
Well, we sort of talked about in these non-consensual polyamorous relationships a few shows ago. But what
Right.
about the relationship that allows one party a side piece? I've just never been with a woman who would allow that. They've all been ready to cut me.
Okay.
I tend to date crazy.
It happens.
No, but I think all the women in my life crazy. My mama, my kids, my wife. I love crazy women, by the way, in a good way. They love me to
I'm
death.
not going to elaborate, but go ahead.
I have a crazy co-host by virtue of
I'm
being.
sorry.
It's not a bad thing.
Let's calm down now.
It's a chauvinist in me. All women are a little bit crazy. There's some spice to it.
Chauvinist. Okay.
If the feminists can be feminists, I can be. I'm just playing. It's a joke. It's a joke to the feminati.
Look, I could bring up the Chris Brown story, but anyway, what were you gonna say? So we want to discuss the
I'm
people
wondering,
that have
are there people who condone this?
sanctioned side pieces? Well, here's the thing: if you've got a situation at home where both parties agree, yeah, it's cool for you to have a side piece, then everyone needs to be honest with each other.
I don't want to sound racial, but do you think that happens?
With the clear people,
Yeah. They probably be
I don't
okay.
know that many people in my particular melanated.
Yeah, we tend
peer
to want to
group.
throw hot grits on
Ooh.
people.
Yeah,
We're hot grit people.
we are hot grit people.
We're hot grit people. I'm
We'll
just
fuck
telling
you
you.
up with them grits. Yeah, I don't know a lot of my melanated peers who are like, yeah, I get into my man having other. I don't know anyone. I can't draw from any personal experiences there.
No, but I do think we have nothing against the blacks. Nothing against the blacks. But I do think we voluntarily enter into relationships, sexual relationships, where
He's
the
become a
third
white
party is
professor, guys.
okay with just banging somebody else's person with no remorse, male or female.
Well, who's entering into
I mean,
those relationships?
Do you think
Is what I'm
there
curious
needs to be some
about.
sort of, I don't know, Robert's Rules of Order side piece.
Everyone's got their kink.
I don't
right?
like it. I don't like it. Doing this show, I don't even
I
like
don't
it.
know.
I'm like my man on here. What was Kim? Who was that talked about this? It's a horrible subject. Gina B made me do this. No, I'm just playing. I know
sorry,
I
you've
throw
done
people
this
under the
before.
bus. I
It's
throw
a
people under the
necessary topic, though, man. I know it's
I
not easy
know.
to talk about. I know it's real taboo, but it's happening.
But Herb,
It's
don't you
happening.
think it's?
It's happening.
And
in
I'm not asking you to
spades.
incriminate yourself, Herb. Do you think it's more people saying, you know what? I'm cool. She got a man. She got this, and it's always been men who are like, we'll go there, right? A man will put his thing in a hole in the tree if he thought he could please him. But now I see more women down with it. Yes or no, Herb? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think that we kind of entering back into this like free love era where people just kind of just doing their thing, and I think that
I'm blaming the liberals.
there's a way to do it. I don't think people should have to be with one person, but I think you should be honest about it.
I'm blaming the liberals.
Okay, so Marcus Simpson again, who seems to be our leading commenter for the night. He
is
says
a
he's
deep
heard
dude.
of a woman being given the green light by her husband with sexual deficiencies. So if he can't get
Whoa.
it up, basically, like diabetes got a hold of him and affected his abilities.
That
I
Marcus
mean,
Simpson. We got to get
those
Marcus Simpson
are
on the show.
Special circumstances.
Can we get Marcus Simpson on the show?
Absolutely.
Marcus Simpson. I look at him sort of. He's a married guy.
As long as he's fun.
He's hilarious.
Okay, cool. Marcus, you're on.
He's married, ladies. He's a tall, chocolate guy, but he's married. So don't look at him that way when we get him on the show. See, Marcus, I saved you from
That was why we had Travis and Gene a few weeks ago.
I saved you from the fan mail.
We had them a couple weeks ago. So, but I mean, those are special circumstances, right? So it's if your man, okay, so let's just say your man has diabetes. Let's just say that there's something that's affecting his.
Or he's, I don't know, been in some accident.
prowess.
He's been in some accident.
Something has happened, and the blue pill is not useful or effective.
That's tough.
Then maybe what he's saying is, hey, you may as well just go out and get it.
Baby,
Just
I can
don't
only
leave
go
me.
so far in my oral game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the oral is only going so far. But, yeah, okay, special circumstances. But, I mean, it could be real. It could be real. Okay, fine.
I'd have to be dead. Fuck that.
You'd be dead
Yeah, kill me.
if you had no erectile
No, I'm
capability.
I'm saying I wouldn't be. If that, and I look at it in reverse too. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to subject somebody that knew what I want to be subjected to it. I mean,
Okay.
this is coming from a person who's married. Obviously, if you're dating, the dynamics are different.
Yeah, very different. You just keep it moving.
Right, exactly.
Like a guy who was deficient or
Right.
bad in bed when
Right.
you're dating. Why bother with that, right? Because that's
Gina B is heartless.
I mean, but realistically, why?
Because he's a great guy.
He can be your friend then.
He just can't get
A
it
great
up.
guy that cannot have sex with you is a friend. Just to keep our definitions clear, right?
Never know who you're doing a show with.
Yeah, you know exactly who you're doing a
Gina B's
show
like-
with. I mean, but realistically, okay, so what are the other ways that you might be a side piece and you don't know it? If not just the time of day, I mean, not just the day of the week, but if your man shows up at midnight and leaves by 7 a.m., you might be a side piece. And you don't
Right.
go to dinner, you don't go to movies, you don't do anything except for bedroom activities. Let's be clear, side piece.
And and a man or a woman can get away with that if they laying it down. We had a hilarious
laying it
comment from Kenya Sweetie Tremel. Thank you for joining the show. She
How did I miss
says,
that one?
she says, what if you wait until your wedding day
Oh.
and he has a micro penis?
Ooh.
That's messed up.
People really doing that?
Wait until their wedding day. Yeah, there are people who are like, I'm celibate till I'm. But you know what? Here's the thing about that.
You should have seen
Even
that. You
if you're
should have
celibate.
You should have played with it or seen it or something.
That's okay.
You should have
I used to-
zagged them off.
Here's my thing. You should do the grind test.
Hmm.
Even if you're not gonna let it penetrate.
Yeah.
If you do the grind test and you find nothing, and you know what the
If
grind
you
test
think
is,
you- if you
the
think-
grind test is you're making out on the couch and something should happen.
And you think I'm
And if you
rubbing
feel
against
nothing-
I'm grinding against another coochie.
Keep that moving. Keep it moving.
Scissoring in here.
But
Yeah.
but to her point, I mean, what if it's not a micro penis? But what if it's just, I don't know,
A substandard.
erectile dysfunction is just really bad. It's all of the above. Do you, again, I'm gonna let me put my Kris the Critic real hat on instead of this play guy.
Uh-huh.
You address the relationship first. The relationship is salvageable. You do not get the side piece. But if you find yourself entering into the side piece realm, whether you're the cheater, it's gonna end bad. Just remember that extortion is where this all leads to. And don't negotiate
With the side piece.
with a side piece.
Well, what do you extort? Like, if you okay, so you've hooked up with a guy that has basically no dick to speak of, right?
Right?
And I mean, so that right there is a non-starter as far as I'm concerned.
That's nobody.
It's a non-starter. What do you mean that's nobody?
Come on.
Look, you have to sit among some of the women that I've met who will talk about how, when their husband pisses them off because he's got a little dick on. You know, you got to hear all that. A lot of women are like, oh, and Marcus Simpson, he's a grower, not a shower. He's not a shower either.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And if he talks, that's another problem altogether. Yes. If he's talking, then that's something else to explore.
Tamika
Don't marry
Johnson
him
is
either.
like one of my most church-going friends.
Look, Tamika knows about talking. She ain't. Look,
Jesus, Tamika.
don't sleep on Tamika.
Jesus Christ.
Tamika knows what's up. If they're tucking,
Who the
then don't.
hell's tucking? First off, if you're a guy tucking anything, you want that boy to be shown. If you side piecing it,
But if
if
you
you
do
out there, you better, hey.
But if you do the grind test, whether he's tucking, growing, showing, it should all
Agreed.
come to.
That's a bad thing.
That's a bad
Again,
way to
we're
put
not
that, isn't it?
justifying any of this.
We're not. But I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. James Turner said, wow. And see, James Turner, thank you, James
Lots of
Turner.
tuckers in the church.
James Turner pointed out what I was getting at, this increase. I don't have the percentages yet. He said, when women seek side pieces too, he had one in the 90s. After she left work, she would come home to my place, have sex, and go home. That used to be, you didn't hear about that. And I'm not just saying it's messed up because I'm a guy and more women are being out there. Somebody got to have some sense. Society, I blame the liberals.
You
I always go
everything
there,
on the
don't I?
liberals.
I just say that all the
Everything is
time.
blamed on the liberals. Okay, so
I don't even like the conservatives.
Kenya Trammell says also, what if he doesn't give head? So
Wow,
are
legal.
you saying that if he's not well endowed and doesn't give head, what do you do?
Well, I don't
Is
know
that
if
the
she said
question?
that.
Throw the whole person away. Even if they are good at sex, they don't give head. Throw the whole person away.
They don't bother.
Yeah. And that used to be a black people thing, right? When you was kids. Oh, man, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but I think even then it was all talk.
True. People was like,
Yeah, because
you always
they
knew
get
who was
behind
getting down.
closed doors.
Yeah. We was just lying.
Yeah, at some point you couldn't
black
find
folks,
one woman
black
to say
folks be lying. I know
Yeah,
some
but
black people. I'm related to some
okay.
black people.
They're lying, but then there's a lot of brothers out there that
Well,
aren't really trying to go down.
well, honestly, and I'm not throwing anybody who's ever been with me under the bus.
Here we go.
All hygiene
Here
ain't
comes the
created equal.
bus.
All hygiene ain't created equal.
Well, no, it's like, you know how
It is what it is.
Have you ever like gone to
Stanky cooches.
have you ever opened salmon? Like when you buy salmon, right?
And you're like, oh, this is spoiled.
The rule
my
is
goodness.
Spoiled.
the rule for picking out, like for fish, right? Like, so if I have fish in the fridge and I pull it out, I'm going to cook it. The rule is if you can smell it, don't eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the rule. So if you open it and you can smell it at all,
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
don't eat it.
I'm,
But this is not the show for that. We're not talking.
but I want to listen. But you know what? Guys don't understand. Women can have imbalances. I've learned.
pH balance.
You mean
I took
like
a bath with
chemical
somebody one time, like,
imbalances?
this is gonna fix it because she's gonna think that I don't.
Oh, you're hilarious.
But it was still.
You'll
fucked
scrub
up.
it down.
You know, guys, we get at the secret test. We would play with it and then do like this.
Yeah, for sure. But
We were like,
I'll take
hell
my test
no.
I'll take my test a little further. Like I'll do the same thing with the finger, but I'll give it to her. Like if she won't taste it, I ain't tasting it either.
Okay.
You a wild boy.
This
I
is
like
getting
that. I like
really
that.
different. This has gone in a totally different place. You do that with side pieces, sir? Do you do that with side pieces?
Herb doesn't believe in side
Candace's back is like, wow, what did I walk in on? I don't know, Candace. This is digressed past past where I thought it was going to go. Okay.
Wait, and Jimmy Wales said there have always been side pieces, men and women. Agreed.
Yep.
The difference is people are just talking about it more. I do think that's true.
I think people are getting caught more because it's easier to get caught now.
No, I'm telling you.
There are cameras, there's social media, there's all kinds of shit.
Ladies, tell me if I'm sounding chauvinist. I think there are way more women seeking out side piece, salacious activities.
We're like, we're
No?
going to give as good as we get. If he's going to go have a side piece, then
See
damn
what
it.
I'm saying? Who wants to
Damn it.
aspire to be like a dude?
Well,
We do dumb shit.
right, but
Y'all want to do dumb shit too? Somebody got to
women
have
feel
some
that
moral
we-
fiber. Men and
we
women are
feel
not
that
equal.
We have the right to do as much dumb shit as
Battle of the Sexes coming up soon, people. Battle of the Sexes Part 3. I'm going to need some volunteers for that.
Those are fun days.
I'm
Battle of
starting
the
to
Sexes.
feel,
I'm
this whole
excited.
society, I'm feeling like my masculinity is just being tested at every turn. And I just want to grab my sack. That's what my wife said I shouldn't talk like that on air.
I was just posting yesterday about how there's like too many passive aggressive men right now.
Is that me right now?
No, but it's,
I'm aggressive,
you're
aggressive.
I'm aggressive, aggressive.
You are very aggressive, aggressive.
So that's why when I see a passive aggressive man, I'm like, is there a testicular theft that's not being reported? That's what I want to know.
I wish every woman was like, you see that? You like your man having balls. So a lot of women out here don't want men to have balls anymore.
Handle tough situations.
They want a ballless society.
Like just, you know.
Don't give in to the side piece.
I tell my fiance
treat
all
it
the
like a
time.
terrorist.
No.
You will not extort me because it's coming down to extortion.
He's all about extortion. He's afraid someone's going to take his money
I ain't got no money.
or boil his bunny
They boil my
or
fucking
tell
bunny.
his honey.
I'm telling them that what you gonna do. Just take away all the power. You do that.
That's right. Take away.
I told my job you was crazy.
That's right. Did you see
I went to counseling.
like the movie Usual Suspects? Did you see that with Kaiser Soze? He killed his own family so that nobody else could.
Wait a minute.
You don't have to give head if her leg. Oh, okay. If her legs are still shaking when she leaves, she'll come back. Okay,
You gotta have
Turner.
James.
James Turner is another one that
Gotta
obviously
have
needs
him
to
back.
make.
Candace Mack Exactly. We need to have some Robert's rules. I'm sorry. Candace Mack came in late. Candace
Candace is like, what have I just done?
First off, Candace, and we got Brian Foster coming up next. Great show planned.
Yeah,
Don't
stick
leave.
around.
So, but real quick, Candace, you can go back and look at this again. Kris the Critic Show does not condone side piece relationships. The purpose of this show was to try to save relationships of people who've already engaged or beginning to engage into dumb shit. So we gave some rules.
We gave some guidelines. We gave some things
Guideline
to
how to
think
deal with the
about.
side piece.
We gave some situations as to how you might be a side piece and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What are you going to do next week before we get out of here?
Next week.
Again, it's summertime. People look at new love. Anybody thinking about getting married out there? Anybody want to get married who's not married?
You let us know.
Maybe I'll have some spouses on here.
We could have some spouses. You want to? We could
Mrs.
have our
Levy.
significant others on here.
Maybe we should do that.
I can never get Lee to shut up.
Maybe we should do that.
You want to?
Mrs. Critic and Mr. B.
Oh, don't call him Mr. B.
Mr.
Oh my
B.
God.
Well, he may not want his name out here until he's on the show.
Oh, he doesn't care.
All right, Mr. Farmer.
He does not care.
And Mrs. Critic. Think about it.
Mrs. Critic.
Think about
I
it.
think the hard one's going to be Mrs. Critic.
Don't be just saying that.
I'm
I run the
saying
Critic
that.
household.
I know her.
I just say it's happening. Anyway,
Mrs. Critic.
we out of here. We got to make room for Brian Foster. Thank
We
you
do.
for joining the side piece again.
Thank
Don't
you.
engage in it. It's a dangerous game. Join us next week on the Kris the Critic Show featuring Gina B. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Peace and grease.
Don't forget to follow Kris the Critic, like the page. We out.
Until I met you, and I don't know if it's real or is it just a phase I'm going through. But I